Also, good evening, and this is introduction to JavaScript class, right? And like we said, we discussed last week. We said JavaScript is a programming language that is used to make your website interactive, right? And it works with HTML and CSS, right? And for us to create a full web experience, we need JavaScript. And what do we use JavaScript for? We use it to validate forms, right? So sometimes, users can be so funny where you intend to get numbers. They will give you characters. Where we intend to create characters, they will impute numbers or even give you some special characters which are not supposed to be given. So JavaScript helps us to really modulate and validate those forms, right, in such a way that it conforms with what you really want to use it for, what type of data you want to get. So for people in data analytics, we know something. We normally do something called data cleaning, right? Yeah, data cleaning. So the data cleaning issue is a way of trying to clean data. But as a web developer, as a web developer, we as a web developer, we can easily clean our data even before going to the database. And that is why it's called a structured query language. The type of data that we get from the user is also structured, right? So this time around, we're now trying as much as possible to clean that particular data before it enters into the database, right? So JavaScript will really help us to do that by prompting the users about, oh, this particular place, we don't need special character. All those prompts that you see, they are also made possible due to the presence of JavaScript on the system. And now most of our browsers run on V8 engine, right? Which really helps us to run some JavaScript queries that will really help us working and doing things. Most of the time, our Chrome, Firefox, Edge also has really stepped up, right? Edge is an upgrade of Internet Explorer, right? Haha. So they really stepped up, and
Yes.
they is also running on V8 engine. So which really makes more sense, right? And response to users' action. So those are reasons why JavaScript is also very, very important. Right. So, and like I said, JavaScript is very, very interesting, and that is what we want to do right now. So yeah, we just quickly write some HTML code. All right. So I don't think if I have HTML element that can write that to go with this thinking. No, email collection images. Thinking if I have this property. HTML. Yeah, so after doing this, maybe I should start with my doc type. Maybe starting with the doc type really makes sense. So that's typing. I want to write HTML5. Doc type. So it must be in capital letter. So it means I don't have this HTML thing here. Yeah, that's bad.
What's that? Oh,
Yeah, so I'm gonna add. Aha. So I think yeah, this makes sense. Aha, so basically, I already have this. So my head, we have in between the head, I'm going to have title. So let me cut this and paste this here. Aha, so we don't need any of these scripts right now. So yeah, I think I can just cover my body by closing the tag of the body right now. Aha, I think we are cool. We are good to go right now. So this is just talking about HTML. All right. Okay. This will be okay. We won't need this here. So why it's giving me that option is because this is a JavaScript template, not an HTML template. So that's why it's not giving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So understand better right now. So this time around with what we've just done right now, assuming I have an HTML, maybe everything I've written here. So let me just do Control A, Control C. Come to this place, then paste this here. If I save this as .html, right? So I think that will be better. So I can just say some .html. Yeah, this will be perfect. Yeah. So yeah. So what is it? So here it'll be in between the body.
I think you're
I can start
okay.
writing or doing anything I really want to do within the body right now. And because we really want to work and talk about HTML, JavaScript. So what's wrong here? Okay. So because we really have, and just to know what we really want to talk about here, so I believe we can easily do whatever thing we really want to do and get it done perfectly well. Right. So yeah, in between the body, I can start writing my script. And for us to be able to write HTML package, I think there's an issue here. So what's the issue? This thing is giving me an issue. What's the problem here? Is there a problem?
Mm,
Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So why is he saying this? Why is he giving us this?
I don't think
This
so.
value.
I don't know. This tree that is showing after the HTML, is it the name of the HTML or no
Wh-
no 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 no.
Where is the three talking about?
It's not, it's maybe like
It's
three
showing three
unfinished.
errors. It's showing
I
three
don't
errors.
know why it's giving error.
The three I'm seeing here is just like talking about three errors. So I've got like three errors. Where is the third?
Three errors.
Where is the third one, sir? It's like, let me remove this. If I remove this. But this basic thing here is trying to explain what JavaScript really entails, right? And nothing more. That's just it, nothing more, right? And another thing, one good thing about JavaScript also is we can also write some HTML template here and to see how it works perfectly well. So in between this particular, we can write our scripts, right? Just for us to see how it runs. And that's why I'm using this HTML template to work HTML.html here. So what's the problem here? Shouldn't have any problem, right? But
I don't know.
yeah, so
They
um
said the character was not specified. Is that supposed to be an issue?
which character is not specified? The meta element was not
Character
specified.
said
Yeah.
yes.
So which one is not specified? Yeah. Where is
Is
it?
it for meta character set CF minus 8?
Uh-huh. Okay, maybe.
Is
Okay.
that supposed to lead to an error?
I don't know. But let's finish it. Let's finish what we are trying to do now. Let's see if it will bring an error. So basically, like I said, if you are writing an HTML code and you want to input some JavaScript queries, right? We need to start with a tag called script, which I know you already know. Right, inside the script, we can now start doing whatever thing we really want to do. For example, we can also console.log. So what does console.log means? Right? It's trying to print a message in the developer console. So I'm going to show you where the developer console is. So console.log can just be .log, right? It's a function and I don't like using hello word. Can just say welcome Fatima, right? So I can just say something like this, right? To our class, and that's all. So once we are done, because after every JavaScript query, we need to end it with a semicolon, right? That shows we have
Hmm.
ended that particular line. So we can move to the next line to do whatever thing we want to do. Another type of keyword, which I think is very, very good. So one of the most important thing we use console.log to do is we use it for debugging and testing, right? Most of the time, we use it for debugging and testing, right? So, all right, debugging, use it for debugging, right? So we use console.log for debugging and we also use it for testing, right? So, okay, this is HTML. So every line, all the lines will be is going to be affected. I'm sorry.
You can just comment, maybe comment it out.
If I will just I will comment all the lines. That's what it means. Except I just do it the other way around. So what I did
Hmm.
earlier was this, right? If I do this, I've been able to comment all the lines out now. So this line is, aha, except I have this, except for this, I just do this again. So this, and then I can remove this from there. So I think this will work. Right. So, this is for, I said it's for debugging and what? And testing. And that is one of the things that we use it for. So most of the time, if you're trying to work, and before we go back to the web or before we send our data to database or check whatever thing we want to do, we can easily use console.log to test whatever thing we want to do. Or if there is a problem, maybe a particular line is giving you an issue, we use console.log to debug that line. We can comment that line out, and that will really help us to see where the problem is, right? Aha. So another keyword which I think is very important is also alert function. Like I said, it's because you said you don't really you've not worked with this alert function. So what does alert function is? It's just for notification pop-up. So most of it, like I was asking earlier, you said it's used for showing errors. Yes. So which means if there is an error, if your user gives put in a data that is not supposed to be typed in, so we have an alert.
Recording it.
We can just get the can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Sorry, sir. I
Okay, it's not
I
like
mentioned
yeah,
it on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, makes
so
sense.
maybe it's going on.
No problem. So we can easily get a notification to tell the user that what you're trying to do is wrong and try and change it. Or perhaps we also use alerts to also tell the user, especially when you want to delete. Remember, if you want to delete and they will tell you, are you sure you want to delete this? So we use alerts to do that. It's just going to show, you're going to pop up on your screen on your browser. So if you really want a pop-up on your browser, a notification pop-up, we use alert function to do that. And that's why you always see error.alert. Remember, I thought you said something like that earlier.
I said Windows dot alert.
Okay, Windows.alert. Yeah. So basically, if we are talking about Windows, we're talking about the browser itself. So we use Windows for the DOM. Remember DOM? Document,
Object.
object what? Model.
Document object model.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, so we use that to work for alert function. So inside the alert function, I can just put beware, be careful with alerts, right? Aha, user experience, right? Then another one, it talks about prompts. We have a prompt function. So prompt function is used to ask user for input, right? So I can just say, what's your name? For user input, right? It is used to ask user for input. And the last one, which I said we discussed, right? It's a yes or no box, right? It's called confirm. I have a confirm function. Are you sure? Right? It's a yes or no box for user confirmation. Are you sure of what you're trying to do here? Do you get the drift now? Are you sure of what you're trying to do here? So all these things are very, very important. So
Yes, sir.
these are the things that we might be using during the course of our discussion in JavaScript, right? So I think it's very, very cool. So we can save this and go try it. We can try it out anytime. So in order not to waste much of our time, I wouldn't want to do this. So we just go straight to what I think is important, which is variables and data types. Is this particular session, do you understand it? Is it well understood? Or do you want me to
Yes,
re-explain?
sir.
Do you want me to
I'm cool
re-explain?
with it, sir. Thanks.
Oh,
No, sir.
oh, okay, okay. So I can come back here, right? Are we?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think we don't need all this again any longer. So we'll be talking about variables and data types. So yeah, variables and data types. So we're talking about variables and data types, right? So we've got the old version. I remember discussed this. We've got the old version called var. Abi, you can
Yes,
say,
sir.
yeah. So what do you mean by variable? Like I said, I think I explained all these things for you during the last class. So,
Yes, sir.
so what do you mean by variable?
Variables are used to store information.
Makes sense. Makes sense. They are container used to store data. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Variable can change values. Why? Yeah, it can change. The variables can also change values while the program runs, right? And before ECMAScript 15, or ECMAScript 6, I think, before it's is it 15? Yeah, before the advent of ECMAScript 15, we used to use variable, var, to declare a variable, right? So we can just say VL name Fatima, right? And this is an old way, the old way of declaring variable. This is an old way of declaring variable, right? So we have the next one, which is let, right? I can say let age. This is also talking about a new way, the modern way, but it is block scoped. What do I mean by block scoped? So it is being used within the block of code, right? And it is a one that is recommended, right? Which means during the course of the period, I can
No.
easily change the variable. I can easily change the value of the variable during the course of my code, right? And the last one, which is
Yes, sir.
const, it is a constant value which cannot be reassigned, which means let can be reassigned. Variable const cannot be reassigned, right? Let can be reassigned, const cannot be reassigned. However, we can still use var to declare a variable in modern day JavaScript, but it is not recommended. Are you getting it? It's not that if you
Yes, sir.
use var to declare a variable, it's not going to work, right? But it is not recommended, right? Because since the advent of let and const, we've been able to split that var into two, and we can easily use let to declare the variable that we want, that we know it can be reassigned, and we use const for variable that cannot be reassigned. I think this is very, very, very important, and we know when to use it. And I think I gave an example during the last class. So this time around, I'm going to discuss data types. Yeah, I've been able to discuss data type a bit here, but I'm going to still do it more. So we have the primitive data type. We have the
Primitive data
primitive, I think
types.
we discussed this again, right? Last,
Yes, sir. Primitive or not primitive.
yeah, we have the primitive data type, which has the string, right? Number,
Yes, sir.
boolean,
Number,
null, undefined,
boolean.
yeah, and symbol. I think we discussed all this, right? And
Yes, sir.
string are characters. Numbers are values. Boolean are what? True or false. Null as
Twelve also.
intentionally empty value. Undefined is what? When we don't have a symbol, we don't have a number, right?
Yes,
Attach
sir, we don't.
particular variable, declare a here. There is no
Yeah.
number declared to that particular variable. Right. So what is symbol? Did you discuss symbol?
No,
Okay. Seriously. So we did
we
not
don't
discuss
discuss
symbol.
so much.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Mm,
you
yes, sir.
rebel. Me rebel. Ah. So symbol is just like a boolean, right? It's just like a boolean, and it is, how would I put it now? It is a constructor. It is just like an object building so constructor in JavaScript, right? So most of the time we don't use it. So it's just like a Boolean, which also gives you a yes or no response, right? So it is being used to create some object properties. So when we get to that particular level, maybe we might want to use it. But let's start with the simple ones that I think will be useful for us for now. So the second one, I think we've talked about the non-primitive. So what are the
Mm.
non-primitives?
We have object,
Yeah.
uh, array.
Yeah. Do you know why I'm laughing now?
I got it wrong.
Ah, you got it wrong. For you. Do you know why I'm laughing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, are you there? Okay, so basically we've got objects, we've got array, and we've got functions, right? And for objects, it's just like talking about having an example. Let's just do example. Sorry, we'll do examples, and we'll just work it and see. So for object itself, so let's see example for object. Example of object. I did not do the other ones because I believe we know what strings are. So we've given an example of strings here. We've given an example of number, and number can either be complex number, it can either be float, all right, and it can either be big int, an integer, a complex number, a big integer, and what have you. We've got a boolean, which is going to be a true or a false. So for null is when we intentionally set a variable to an empty value, right? That is for null. Right, and like I explained for undefined is when we intentionally don't put, so we declare a variable, but we did not give it a
And
value.
give it a value or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, so we can get object. An example of object, right, can be just let's say it's gonna be, yeah, we're going to have a key value pair thinking a key value pair ways, right? So if you are used to Python programming language, this particular session will not be new to you because this is an example of a dictionary. This is how we declare a dictionary exactly with the same curly braces, and it will also have a key value pair. So the example is going to be very easy. So we can declare a variable of let, a variable of person to be equals to this, and we have the name to be Fatima. We have the age to be 25. And we have, is he a student or not? Yeah, this one is not true. It is false here. She's not, though. I lie. She wants to tell me she's a student of knowledge. Yeah.
I'm still a student now.
Yes, yes, nah. Yeah, so basically that is for objects, right? So we can see that we were able to declare or and explain what a person is, right? and we can see that we declare a variable for the person, and we have name, age, and is Fatima a student or not, right? So the second one is array, and we can declare a variable of colors, and we can also see how it works. So array is very interesting. And I'm sure if you're also used to Python, you can see I always want to link all these things together because programming language really works hand in hand, right? And once you can write one very well, you should be able to get your hands on some other ones and you will excel very well. And it's almost written with the same principle. The only thing is just to know some syntax that changes and the like. So for array, in Python programming language, it is called list, and it also works exact way it works. So I'm trying to link all these things together for you to see how we can easily relate them together and get and have a better understanding of all these things, right? So I think we can easily get this. Then for function, I might not want to give you an example for now because that might really get how will I put it now? You might not really understand it better. That I wouldn't want us to get confused. So I want us to have some proper foundation work before we start working on all this right now. So we've really given ourselves examples and see how it works, right? So for null, I think we could just give a variable for null. So I can just say let address to be equals to undefined and let phone number to be equals to null. So I've been able to define null and undefined right now. Can you see now? So I've given an example of virtually all the examples I gave except for symbol and functions. And I've got my reasons for doing that right now. So because I really want us to have that's, how will I put it? That's proper understanding the foundation before diving into this too, right? So, which might really cause problem right now if we start discussing it, right? So, I think we've been able to get that done. And do you have any question so far?
No, sir.
Okay, no or yes?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So next is going to talking about operators, right? So we're talking about different types of operators. So let's talk about operators.
Operator. Okay.
So we've got different types of operators. So we talk about the first one, arithmetic operators, and which is talking about positive addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. All right? And we can declare a variable here to be equals to 10. Ah, so we can declare a variable to be equals to 10, declare another, so x to be equals to 10, y to be equals to 5, then we can now use the addition operator to discuss and get the answers, right? So once you do sum, so we can declare another variable called sum to be equals to x plus y, right? So for me to get the answer, I can just come here and say console.log. So this is where you're going to get your answer. So we can do console.log and just do sum. Yeah. So if I do this, then I can come here and run my code. So are you also using VS Code?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have this here's your power. Okay. Do you have this play button on your VS Code? No. No.
So I want to check. No.
No, yes. So you have to come here, come to the extension. Actually, my own extension part is very long, but I don't know where. Here's the extension, sir. I've installed so many things here. So where is this? I think this is it. Extensions, yeah. So
Mm,
if you go for run code, you search run code, yeah.
okay.
You search for run code, yeah, and you would. You know what's wrong? Okay, I think this is it. I'm coming now. I want to show you. I think I have it installed. Code Runner. Yeah, I think it's Code Runner. Code Runner.
Okay, good.
Have you seen it? So you installed it. So you have it. So instead of us trying to write the file to
Going to the console, right?
eh?
I was asking that instead I was going to the console.
Yeah, instead of us going to the console to type here, right? To type because we need to run this particular file before that thing will pop up. We just come here and click on the run as. So can you see what we have here? So automatically the code runner will help us run the JavaScript file, then give us the results. Can you see the result here?
Yes, sir.
Aha, so that's the essence of this code runners. This gives me a vibe of using PyCharm, using Jupyter Notebook, using some other um, code editor that has this particular run or play button. Yeah, I've worked with so many code text editor with this, but VS Code is still one of the best, right? So giving free advertisements. Yeah, back to what we are doing. So back to what we are doing. All right, so we've been able to see what console.log can help us do. So we can change this to minus. So I can also copy and do for um for subtraction, for division, for multiplication, and modulus, right? So let me quickly do for modulus. So I can do let mod to be equals to x module y. So what modulus does is what? Is giving you what?
Remainder.
Aha.
Remainder.
Yeah, so basically I will just come down here, then do console.log modulus to be mod. All right, so and let's check what this will give me. Of course, it's going to be zero. So let me put it in.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're going to have zero. Can you see? So, but if
Yes, sir.
it changes, maybe I've got one something like this, and I play. Of course, I'm going to have different answer. Yeah, so I'm going to have modulus to be 3, then sum to be 180.
Three. Yeah.
Yeah, so and that is that as regard to this particular operator. So we have another type of operator called it's called assignment operator. So for assignment operator, we already know that variable is assigned. This single equality sign is not an equality sign in the real sense in mathematics, right? This is just like an assignment operator. We are assigning a value to a variable, to a character. So for example, I can say Fatima, I'm assigning Camila to Fatima, right? Which means anytime I need Camila, once I call on Fatima, automatically I get Camila. Does that analysis make sense? Does it make sense? It's vague, right?
Understand? Yes, sir.
It's vague, have you?
I actually understand. Like
Aha.
when you need one person or when you need Camila, once you just call Fatima and you find Camila.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So I am not saying Fatima is equals to Camila this time around, which is
Okay.
quite different. Aha, aha. So something like that. So I want us to get that different word, and that is that as regards that. So examples, we've got the ones that we normally use, which is saying x is equals to 5. So let me come here and do this is an assignment operator. This is for the assignment itself, assign, right? This is assign. And just say assign 10 to A, right? Something like that. So the second one is add and assign. It's called add and assign. So which means, so I'm adding 5 to the existing value
Okay.
of A.
A. Mm.
So invariably, what I've just been able to do is saying A equals to A plus 5. Ṣé Yorùbá mi yé?
Yes, sir.
So I think I'm sorry, I'm slow and I'm trying to break it down. I'm sorry, I'm sure you might have understood it better than this, but I think we should just break it down to the barest minimum. So this is the exact thing that we are doing with what written here, and most of the time, this is what we'll be using, especially when we get to a certain stage, maybe for loop, while loop, for loop, and we'll be using this very well. So I want you to understand it better. So once you see this, this is the exact thing that we are trying to do. So initially, I've got a value of A to be 10, and I'm adding 5 to the value of A, which means I'm going to get 15, right? So we can,
10.
so we can do add and assign. We can also do subtract and assign. So I can do A can be, this is multiply and assign. This multiply and assign. This multiply and assign. So I've got the value of it to be 10, and I'm multiplying 2 to it. So your assignment is going to be, I did not finish all these here. I only did that of plus and modulus. Your assignment is going to be, you do everything that I've written here based on the assignment I gave, and which I would want to see again, right? So that will also reinforce the teachings very well, right? So this is where I think I'm going to stop here. So try subtract and assign, divide and assign. We can also have modulus and assign. We can do this and assign. We can get this, right? So we can also do power
Just an assignment.
assign. Yes, it's possible, right? So we can get all this very well. So after I might have done this for the assignment operator, or is there any other thing you want me to explain here?
No, sir.
What did you say?
I said no, sir.
Okay, makes sense. So we can go ahead with saying comparison operator. So comparison operator is where we want to compare things with this. So for example, I want to compare you with Ghana, where are you? So I'm going to compare you with your sister, right? So if I say So the result here is going to be either true or false. Yeah. So, for the first two, we already have values. Results is always comes in form of a value, right? But for comparison operator, your result will always come in form of a Boolean, right? So it's going to be either true or false. So if I now ask you, I think your sister's name Rashida, right?
No.
Oh.
Aisha.
Aisha. Okay, we have Aisha. Aisha. Oh, go back. How did I not forget? Well, no problem. So basically, if I now say Fatima is equal to Aisha, the answer will be either yes or no now. Have you? That is where comparison operator comes into play. So we can easily get things like that and see how it works. So for example, one of the examples is say, try as much as possible to know if x is equals to y. So we must have defined our x before doing this. So for example, I can say let x to be equals to 10 and let y to be equals to 10, right? So we can now come here and say, so why is this? Okay, I already declare another let value of it. Okay, can say K B.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I can now come here and say, okay, can I come here and say K is equals to B.
B.
All right, aha. So basically, you can see what this will do right now. So for obvious reason, Will this return true or false?
False.
Okay. Okay. Should we check?
Oh, it should be true.
I don't know. Should we check? I have my reasons, right? I have my
Yes.
reasons. Yeah. Have you tried it yet?
Yes, Alex.
Have you tried it there?
No.
Okay,
No,
so let's
sir.
try it. Let's try it. Let's see what result this will give. Okay, so we did not console Kaka. So we are going to console
Yes.
dot log.
No console.
Yeah, so let's check if this will return true or not. Right? So let's play. So why did you return true? You said false. Why did this return true?
Hmm. Because it has the same content of, oh, is the this thing is not looking at the data type. It's just looking at
Aha.
the value.
Yeah. So basically, what this check is you only check values. These two equality sign check values. However, this is only for JavaScript though. This is only for JavaScript. In other programming language, for example, Python, I know very well. Um, PHP, I know very well, right? They won't only check for value, they will also check for data type. Do you get? So basically, if you're writing this in
Yes,
maybe
sir.
Python or PHP, it will return false. Right? So if you want it to return false in
Okay.
JavaScript, we have a triple equality sign. So this time around, this check for the data type. This is when it checks for the data type. So sometimes this happens. So this is one of the advantages JavaScript has, right? Sometimes you might want to quickly check for values, not minding the data types. So these also might come in line when your user is giving you things, and because you know that things I need there is only values. I don't really want to check for the data type they are bringing in, right? So we can easily have this particular equality sign, especially if you are working with maybe password and maybe perhaps username. Most times you might want to say, okay, password. So I want to assume the values alone. So I'm going to see it in form of value. So just compare the value. Just don't compare data types, right? So that makes more sense. So which means if anybody comes in and types in so number. So maybe the type person types in that particular number in form of a script, in form of a string, and or another person types in the form of a number or an integer or a big int or anything or a float. So once the value is equal, right? Yours is just to just open up and if you I think that is enough for me to check, right? Just all the values and that is all. Right, and it will always return true with this, right? So that was a trick. So that's that. So we have triple equality sign, which also this is when it's check for the data type. So if I do the triple equality sign here,
Okay.
so it will return false. Can you see?
Yes.
So we have not equals to. So what's the difference between this and this?
Mm-hmm. The same thing, not equals to the first one.
Uh-huh.
We'll check for the value, but the second one will check for the data type.
Okay, makes sense. So let's check. Let's run this. So so why is it giving us false? So
Okay,
because
this is let it
initially
equal.
it should be
K
true.
is not equal to B. So
It
it's
should be
telling us
true.
that K is equal to B.
Yeah. Initially it should be equals to it should be false, right? It should be true initially. So if I change this to double, So we're
Mm-hmm.
expecting
So we
true.
now have true.
Something like that. So which makes sense. So I think your assignment is going to be greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, or equal to work with the comparison operator. So I think the next one, which we can talk about, is talking about logical operator. So logical operator is we have the and, or, and not. This is how to give a not in I say Python, in JavaScript, right? This is how to do not in JavaScript. So let's try and see. And the result also here gives either true or false. So we now have two. The first two gives what? Values as results, right? Then the last two gives what? Boolean as results, right? So the logical operator, we have and, we have this, we have that. So basically, you can give say these two examples is not bad, right? But I want to use something else, but maybe when we get to that particular side, we're going to use it and we're going to use hand to work with it also. Right. So yeah, I can just do console.log to check for hand. So I can do console.log. So can you enter club? Can one enter club? Yes or no? Is adult is saying true. um Child as ID saying false, right? So basically, so for and to return true, so I think I need to explain that also. For and to return true, where is it? For and to return true, right? Both conditions must be true, right?
Okay.
For and
What conditions must be met?
to return true, both Both conditions must be true. Must be true. There is a must, not a. Must be true. Both conditions must be true. Right? So which means the conditions you are trying to compare with each other must be true. So for example, we use this
Must be
conditional
true.
statement very well when we are trying to confirm the eligibility of login details. So which means if the username is equal. So this time around, this equality sign is going to be used. Either this or this, depending on what you want to do, right? So if the username is equal to the username that is being stored in the database, and the password is equals to the password that is being stored in the username, then open up, right?
Okay.
Aha. Then is going to, you will see the then, don't worry. So it's just like English. I think I think people should will understand programming language very well when we tend to convert all these things to English language, right? And you see when to use this. It's just like speaking English to the computer. See how it works. Do you get? Okay, all right.